We are, as a people, inherently and historically opposed to secret society, opposed to secret oaths, opposed to secret proceedings, secret proceedings. No official of my administration, whether his rank is high or low, should interpret my words here tonight as an excuse to censor the news, to stifle dissent, to cover up our mistakes, or to withhold from the press and the public the facts they deserve to know.
Welcome to Conspiracy Corner Podcast, everyone. This is Abe, your host. It is January 12th, 7:15 p.m., Wednesday, my day off, so I figured I'd do a podcast for you all. Woke up a little early. Got some time before the missus gets off work, so I figured I'd put a podcast out. Cooking some salmon tonight. Some salmon with some dill aioli sauce that you layer on it, mashed potatoes, corn. I think it'll be pretty good. But as far as updates, that's about it. But let's get into our subject today. Andrew Cuomo. Cuomo aides rewrote nursing home report to hide higher death toll. Sounds fishy. The intervention was the earliest action yet known in an effort by Governor Andrew Cuomo that concealed how many nursing home residents died in the pandemic. Top aides to Governor Andrew Cuomo were alarmed. A report written by state health officials had just landed, and it included a count of how many nursing home residents in New York had died in the pandemic. The number, more than 9,000 by that point in June, was not public, and the governor's most senior aides wanted to keep it that way. They rewrote the report to take it out, according to interviews and documents reviewed by the New York Times. The extraordinary intervention, which came just as Mr. Cuomo was starting to write a book on his pandemic achievements. It's called cucking, people. It's called cucking. That's what that book was. Cuckoldry. To rub it in your face. They've been doing that a lot lately. Was the earliest act yet known in what critics have called a month-long effort by the governor and his aides to obscure the full scope of nursing home deaths. Well, yeah, it's a Band-Aid. After the state attorney general revealed earlier this year that thousands of deaths of nursing home residents had been undercounted, Mr. Cuomo finally released the complete data, saying he had withheld it out of concern that the Trump administration might pursue a politically motivated inquiry into the state's handlings of the outbreak in nursing homes. Well, yeah, he would have, and he should have. It never happened, but... And honestly, if this is old news to you, I don't know. This flew under my radar, but I wanted to bring up this old news because I have newer news on Mr. Cuomo after this. But Mr. Cuomo and his aides actually began concealing the numbers months earlier, as his aides were battling their own top health officials. Oh, so they're concealing it earlier. Sounds to me like they were trying to, protect their own ass. And well before requests for data arrived from the federal authorities, according to the documents and interviews with 6 people with direct knowledge of the discussions, who requested anonymity. Sorry, they wanted to be anonymous. Anonymous. Someday I'll learn how to speak, people. To describe the closed-door debates. The central role played by the governor's top aides reflected the lengths to which Mr. Cuomo has gone in the middle of a deadly pandemic to control data, brush aside public health expertise, and bolster his position as a national leader in the fight against the beer bug. Uh-oh, I hear an ambulance. As the nursing home report was being written, the New York State Health Department's data, contained in a chart reviewed by the Times that was included in a draft, put the death toll roughly 50% higher than the figure that had been cited publicly by the Cuomo administration. Fudging numbers. The health department worked on the report with McKinsey, a consulting firm hired by Mr. Cuomo to help with the pandemic response. The chart they created compared nursing home deaths in New York with other states. New York's total was 9,250 deaths, far exceeding that of the next highest state, New Jersey, which had 6,150 at the time. The changes sought by the governor's aides fueled bitter exchanges with health officials working on the report. The conflict punctuated an already tense and devolving relationship between Mr. Cuomo and his health department. One that would fuel an exodus of the state's top public health officials. In the past week, like I said, this is an older article, but I just want to lay out the crumminess of what Mr. Cuomo was doing with the nursing home numbers. And then I want to conclude it with a big bomb of something terrible. Mr. Cuomo's once seemingly unshakable grip on power has been buffeted by a wave of scandal. 3 women have accused the governor of inappropriate conduct, including workplace sexual harassment. On Wednesday, he publicly apologized for his actions, which are soon to be subjected to an independent investigation overseen by the state attorney general. The crisis over Mr. Cuomo's behavior with women came just as his administration had been dealing with political turmoil over nursing homes. How convenient. Lawmakers moved to strip him of the emergency powers he had been granted during the pandemic, and federal prosecutors in Brooklyn opened a separate investigation. An outside lawyer hired by the state has begun interviewing officials about the handling of nursing homes during the pandemic, according to a person with the knowledge of the discussions. See, I think the whole sexual scandal came out to kind of honestly cover up basically what was going on with the nursing homes. The aides who were involved in changing the report included Melissa De Rosa, the governor's top aide, Linda Lacewell, the head of the state's Department of Financial Services, and Jim Malatras, a former top advisor to Mr. Cuomo, brought back to work on the pandemic. None had public health expertise. In response to a detailed list of questions from the Times sent on Tuesday, the governor's office responded with a statement Thursday night from Beth Garvey, a special counsel, who said the out-of-facility data was admitted after DOH could not confirm it had been adequately verified. She added that the additional data did not change the conclusion of the report. Tension over the death count dated to the early weeks of the pandemic when Mr. Cuomo issued an order preventing nursing homes from turning away people discharged from the hospital after being treated for beer bug. The order was similar to ones issued in the other states aimed at preventing hospitals from becoming overwhelmed. Well, it would help hospitals not to become overwhelmed if they would stop shutting down hospitals and only leaving certain ones open so that way they could be filmed on camera by the local news. Just an idea. But we all know. Operation Mockingbird, propaganda, you know, Agenda 21. Come on, man. Come on, Great Reset, You got to make it look scary. By late spring, Republicans were suggesting that the order had caused a deadly spread of the virus in nursing homes. Mr. Cuomo disputed that it had. Still, critics and others seized on the way the states was publicly reporting deaths. Unlike other states, New York excluded residents who had been transferred to hospitals and died there, effectively cloaking how many nursing home residents had died of the beer bug. The 33-page report, 33, which was issued in July by the state health department, found Mr. Cuomo's policies were not to blame, but it became a turning point in the Albany debate over the governor's policies. The date after the report was published, legislators began calling for hearings and requesting complete data. Public health officials criticized its approach. A think tank began seeking the data the next month, as did the Justice Department. Health officials, nursing home operators, and even some of Mr. Cuomo's aides expressed bafflement at the government's apparent insistence on delaying the release of the data for so long, as none of the information released so far has changed the overall number of beer bug deaths in New York. Now more than 47,000, including more than 15,000 nursing home residents. But the July report allowed Mr. Cuomo to treat the nursing home issue as resolved last year, paving the way for him to focus on touting New York's success in controlling the beer bug. Quote, "I am now thinking about writing a book about what we went through," Mr. Cuomo said, 4 days after the report's release, his first public comments about a possible book. By that point, he was already seeking formal approval from a state's ethics agency to earn outside income from book sales, according to a person with knowledge of his planning at the time. The governor's policy to direct nursing homes to accept and readmit patients who had tested positive for the beer bug remains a subject of intense debate. An investigation by the Attorney General's office, released in January, said that Mr. Cuomo's memo to nursing homes was consistent with federal guidance, but it may have put residents at risk in harm in some facilities. Ms. Garvey said in her statement that the governor's order did not drive nursing home deaths, a conclusion that was also reached in the health department report. At the time when the report was being prepared, Mr. Cuomo, a third-term Democrat, still enjoyed broad popularity with his televised news briefings. For its report, the health department had drawn on data submitted by the state's more than 600 nursing homes, which were particularly hard hit in March and early April as New York became a global epicenter. Quote, "To us, it was clear that you've got to report cases and deaths by all categories. Case in nursing home, case in hospital," said Stuart Almer, chief executive of Gerwin Health Care System, which runs 460-bed nursing home facility on Long Island that has recorded 65 recent deaths from the beer bug. Quote, "We always had confidence and still do in our numbers." State health officials could see from the data that a significant number of residents died after being transferred to hospitals. The state health commissioner, Dr. Howard Zucker, had been aware as early as June that the officials in his department believed the data was good enough to include in the report, according to 2 people with knowledge of the discussions. But Dr. Zucker testified to lawmakers in early August that the department was still auditing the numbers and could not release them. State Senator Gustavo Rivera, the chair of the Health Committee, suggested during the hearing that the data was being withheld to improve the governor's image. "That's a problem, bro," Mr. Rivera told Dr. Zucker. "It seems, sir, that in this case you are choosing to define it differently so that you can look better." In a statement issued on Thursday, Gary Holmes, a spokesperson for the health department, echoed Ms. Garvey's words, disputing that the numbers had already been ready in time for the report and saying that regardless, they would not have changed its conclusions. Dr. Eleanor Adams was the health department's lead on the report, but her draft was substantially rewritten by Mr. Malatras, now the chancellor for the State University of New York system. He was among a number of officials and former advisors temporarily recruited by Mr. Cuomo to assist the pandemic response. The back and forth went well beyond the usual process of the governor's office suggesting edits to an agency report and became intense at times, according to two people with knowledge of the discussions. Health officials felt the governor's office, whose opinion was conveyed by Mr. Malatris, wanted to simplify too much. They worried it was no longer a true scientific report, but feared for their jobs if they did not go along. Even so, an edited version prepared by Mr. Malatris did not remove the higher death toll. That occurred later after Ms. DeRosa and Ms. Lacewell became aware of its inclusion. It was taken out soon after. Now, hearing that, do you think something's going to happen? Do you think maybe, he'll get charged with the deaths of the nursing homes? Don't hold your breath, because here we go. What's this? What's this? There's something in the air. No charges for Cuomo administration after Manhattan DA closes nursing home probe. An investigation led by the Manhattan District Attorney into the Cuomo administration's allegedly mishandling of the beer-bug nursing home deaths has come to a close. A spokesperson for the former governor announced Monday the probe into any potential wrongdoing by the governor's executive chamber has seemingly concluded without the district attorney filing any criminal charges. Did you guys expect anything else? Because I didn't. Quote, I was contacted today by the head of the elder care unit from the Manhattan District Attorney's Office who informed me they have closed its investigation involving the executive chamber and nursing homes. And that's unquote from Elkin Abramowitz, former outside counsel for the executive chamber, said in a statement. Quote, I was told that after a thorough investigation, as we have said all along, there was no evidence to suggest that any laws were broken, the attorney added. A spokesperson for the Manhattan District Attorney declined to comment Monday. Two investigators by the New York Attorney General and State Assembly found that the governor's administration misrepresented how many nursing home residents died of the beer bug, which is what we just went over. Cuomo resigned as governor in August after the Attorney General's office released a report finding he had committed criminal sexual harassment. The closing of the Manhattan District Attorney's investigation comes weeks after the district attorney in Winchester and Nassau County announced the end of their own probes into the governor's conduct. Each office looked into allegations of sexual misconduct and found the claims credible, but could not bring criminal charges against the former governor under New York law. Cuomo has vehemently denied any wrongdoing and insisted that the investigations were politically motivated. So there you have it, guys. Cuomo got off scot-free. We all knew that was coming. And he's making money off of his book. And in history, his book will be something that somebody will pick up 20 or 30 years from now and read in his own words how he's a hero. And this is how history is written. History is written by the winners, and the winners are the heroes. But we'll get on with another story. We still got some time, so. Alright, so I've been waiting for this day. This isn't a story of me bragging or nothing like that. I used to bartend. And being a bartender and a server at a bar, you come home with a lot of ones, but you do come home with like 50s and 20s and shit like that. When I would go out to McDonald's or something like that, I would always put a 1 in the Ronald McDonald House thing. It's in the drive-thru, it's in the cashier lane, you know. Um, I'm not religious or nothing. I just believe if you have the money to give and you have the opportunity to give it, to give it. Now I always knew in my heart of hearts, in the back of my head, that probably all that money is not going directly to what it's supposed to go to. Maybe something fishy's going on behind closed doors, considering it's like Ray Kroc's McDonald's, you know what I mean? But I never really had proof. I ain't gonna lie, I'm gonna start boycotting McDonald's Ronald McDonald House, and I'll tell you why. Canadian Ronald McDonald House to evict family of 4-year-old patient over V mandate. The family of 4, sorry, ads. Shit, man. The family of a 4-year-old boy, leukemia patient, who is staying at the Ronald McDonald House in Vancouver, Canada, says they received notice they'll be evicted from the facility if they cannot provide proof that they are VE'd. Tuesday, the boy's father, Austin Ferguson, posted a Facebook video showing a letter he received. Outkick has contacted the Ronald McDonald representative listed on the letter and is awaiting comment, notifying parents that the facility will be requiring V passports starting January 17th for those over 5 years old to visit or stay at the facility. Workers will also be required to be V'd. The 4-year-old boy has been staying at the facility since October, when he was diagnosed with leukemia. According to Ferguson's Facebook account, now the unV'd parents are faced with the decision to get V'd or stand their ground and leave. And here's a video, I'll play it for you. Well, never mind, the video doesn't want to play. Beginning January 17th, 2022, everyone 5 years and older who are working, staying, or visiting our facilities, both housed at 4567 Heather Street, Vancouver, and at Family Room in Surrey Memorial Hospital, must show proof of full V, 2 doses. In addition to completing our existing screening, unless an accommodation has been sought and has been explicitly approved and granted by RMHC, Ronald McDonald House Charities, in writing, Leslie Louis, Ronald McDonald House Senior Director of Family Services, writes in the notice. So you can, there's the address right there. If you guys want to write to them, go for it, man. I'm not going to tell you not to. Just be respectful. But it's 4567 Heather Street, Vancouver. So there you go. And it's the Surrey Memorial Hospital, the family room. So go ahead and write to them, man. That's ridiculous. Families currently residing at the facility will have until January 31st to get their first dose. Quote, we continue to restrict access to the house and are practicing beer bug safety protocols, including screening, temperature checks, physical distancing, enhanced cleaning protocols, and mandatory mask wearing in all common places. Louis continues in her letter. All guests and visitors to the house must show proof of full V against beer bug. These measures, in addition to an abundance of sanitizer and kindness, will help us ensure safety for everyone at the house. Now, I already know what a lot of people are already thinking in their head, and they're wanting to say, like, oh, well, why would they even put up with that? Why would they even deal with that? Why would they, blah, blah, blah. Some people don't have a choice, man. And I mean, anyone who's kept up with my channel, you know that I have couch surfed multiple times in my life. I've lost all my money. I've lost my house. I've lost a shit ton, a vehicle. Like, life is fucking hard. And sometimes you just hit rock bottom, dude. And you have nowhere to go unless someone opens their door for you. So, unless, like, you were lucky enough to not be in that situation, and when your kid has leukemia, like, it is what it is. So, you have to, kind of, you know, deal with shit sometimes as far as wearing a mask or social distancing. All right. So this is an actual document. This is the beer bug passport scanning. This is the actual note. We will begin scanning process on Wednesday, January 12th in the quiet room. Wednesday, January 12th, 10 through 5 p.m. Thursday, January 13th, 10 through 5 p.m. Friday, January 14th, 10 through 5 p.m. Please bring your BC V passport to confirm proof of V or the V card for those under 12 years of age. For families from outside BC, please bring your home province equivalent. Should you have any questions or concerns about change, please contact Leslie Louis, Senior Director, Family Services at 604-736-2957. Extension is 2149. If you guys want to contact this person, that phone number is 604-736-2957 and the extension is 2149. Ferguson called the decision handed down by the Ronald Mcdonald House wicked and vile. The COVID cult is far more dangerous than the beer bug. If they will evict families with cancer, what won't they do? He wrote on Facebook. In an interview with True North, Ferguson explained why this decision has been yet another kick in the gut since learning his son's diagnosis in October. Quote, no matter what people's beliefs are, everyone donates to this place because everyone wants to save dying kids. Agreed. That's exactly why I opened it up the way I did, man. I donate because, I want to help dying kids, Now at this point, I want to boycott, he told True North. Quote, if there was anything left to unite our country, this would have been it. And still, they find a way to segregate us and divide us even more. Agreed. Quote, I am broken inside for our country. Just how fast this has accelerated. Now, this is an actual Facebook post from Austin Ferguson, the father. The Ferguson family is finally back together, so grateful to live in Canada and able to go back to a place like Ronald McDonald House. Check out this video where I tour the place and how, with my first half hour, I was already praying with broken people in the lobby. What an amazing opportunity God gave me. Just like Rick Turner said, to share the hope of Jesus with these broken families. Thanks so much for your prayers and financial support, everyone. I know my son is healed already. It's just a matter of time till we are back home. I'm excited to see what God does with this mess. Gonna keep trusting in him. With Lindsay Ferguson. So that was one Facebook post. And here's another Facebook post. Emergency. Please pray for my son Jack. And this is from Linda Ferguson. As some of you have seen over the last week, Jack had become lethargic, shyer, whatever that means. S-H-Y-E-R. I've never heard that. Oh, shyer, like he's shy. Okay. Less playful. His feet hurt and he was unable to play outside for the last 2 weeks. We had taken him in for x-rays of his feet to be told that his feet aren't broken. Went back again to check his hip and leg. Nothing. But they had taken blood. Last night at 11 o'clock, I woke up to a phone call from a doctor telling me my son has leukemia. Let's see more. Oh, this is going into Facebook. I don't have Facebook, so Sorry about that. I can't read more on that unless I have Facebook, and they kicked me off of Facebook. But yeah, man, that's what's going on, dude, in Canada. And like I say, I try to reiterate this, man. And I know I sound like a broken record, but I really don't care. You guys think this might not be a big deal. Oh, that's over there. Oh, that'll never happen in the US. Well, I shared a video. I did a video the other day on Washington. They're already building quarantine camps in Washington. They're already signing bills in Washington. It is going to happen here unless we fight it. And that's up to you and me. And I'm doing the best I can by voicing and screaming into this microphone at you all. You know, I give you the phone numbers. I tell you what's going on. We can write these people. We can protest. We could do something. But I don't know. That's all she wrote. Please like, share, and subscribe. And you all have an awesome day.
We are, as a people, inherently and historically opposed to secret society, opposed to secret oaths, opposed to secret proceedings, secret proceedings. No official of my administration, whether his rank is high or low, should interpret my words here tonight as an excuse to censor the news, to stifle dissent, to cover up our mistakes, or to withhold from the press and the public the facts they deserve to know.